Hello everyone, welcome to Dan Does Stuff. Today I want to do a review on the Suunto Core all black watch. I wanted to do this because I looked down at my wrist and realized, holy cow, I've had this watch for 8 years and I wanted to share with you all a little bit about it, and hopefully it might be a watch that might work for you. First of all, this is a ABC watch, which means it has an altimeter, a barometer, and a compass. And this thing retails for around $199 to $219, depending on where you look. Also, you can find it for cheaper on eBay and other places like that. I do wear this watch every day. I'm going to kind of go through a little bit about it. I usually never take it off except for when I sleep. This thing has been through heat and cold and everywhere in between. It's been in salt water, it's been in lakes, chlorinated pools, like hot tubs as well. Also been through mud and sand, and I've had it up in the mountains just to change the altitude to see if that worked as well. And ultimately, the original reason that I bought this, I actually got it for a birthday present for my wife, was I had a young daughter at the time and she had trouble sleeping. And I always needed to know what time it was when I was rocking her to sleep in the middle of the night because we could not have a clock in her room. And this worked out great because it didn't emit that much light when you turned on the actual light right here. You're not going to be able to see it on the camera, but a little bit. It has a really light green hue to it. So it wouldn't distract her, it wouldn't wake her up. And on top of that, it has some other cool features here that I'll show you really quick. What I currently use this for mainly is time and date. As you can see, it shows you the current time and it shows you the date down there on the bottom. I also use it as a stopwatch. I'll show you that feature right here. You can click through here. That's going to show you the seconds. That's going to be a secondary time. You can set that to whatever you want. This shows you sunrise and sunset, which I use during hunting season. And this is your stopwatch. I just have that current time of what I just ran recently. But I use that definitely a ton. And then right here, 5 minutes, you can set this to whatever you want. It's just a timer. You can change it to whatever you want to use it for. But typically, this is what I use for timeouts for my kids. I just start it on my wrist, and they have to sit in timeout for 5 minutes if they're not following directions. But back to the time, or sunrise and sunset, I'll use that during the hunting season for bow hunting, just so I know when is legal shooting hours, both in the morning and in the evening. Some other things that this watch does is up top here, it would usually have a little arrow and it'd show up, down, or flat to tell you what the recent barometric pressure is. And it has like alarms that would go off if it's a really steep drop over a period of time for what that typically would mean is a storm. It also has a compass. I'll show you. So here's where it's going to show you the temperature as well. 409 degrees, definitely not 409 degrees. But with that, the temperature only worked if you took the watch off and let it sit for like 15 minutes. If you had it on your wrist, it would give you a reading. Back here is the sensor right here. It'd give you a reading that was way off because it's reading your body temperature. And then right here is your compass. And that currently doesn't work, but I'll talk about that. There's also plenty of other things you can do with this. You can track logs of the altimeter of how high you're climbing and do those fun things. I never really got into that since I didn't use this for hiking at all. But as you can see, it's kind of beat up. It used to be all black, hence the name. But this is just wear and tear from me having it for so long. But what has broke on this over the years, so you all are aware of that, the actual band here. So you can get different bands for these, but this is the original. It's not the original brand, but I bought at least, I would probably say 4 bands over the 8 years of owning this. Typically what breaks are these first, and then this will just break, but super easy to take apart. There's a screw right there and a screw on the other side. Take them out, slide the new one on, and you're good to go. And those bands are really cheap. You can find them on eBay and Amazon. Other things that don't work, the compass doesn't work anymore, and The barometric pressure doesn't work anymore. That's okay, not a big deal for me. It lasted a really, really long time, but I've put this thing through its paces, as you can see. And also, usually this would turn for your compass, but it is locked in there. So that is not working. In a nutshell, I love this watch. This thing's been amazing for me. A lot of people are like, holy cow, you still have that thing. Battery life is fairly good. I can't put a timeline on it for you, but you can take a coin and just unscrew that and replace a battery. I always keep a couple with me in the house, but I'd say, months. We're talking like 3 months at least or more, because I feel like I don't replace it at all. But all in all, love this watch. I give it 10 out of 10. I wish some of the other stuff still worked, like the barometric pressure, because I like to keep an eye on that for fishing purposes. But no biggie. Still does exactly what I need it to do. Really, really enjoy the watch. Hope you learned something new. And if you're looking for a nice ABC watch, the Suunto Core All Black does the trick for me. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.